Do we even need H-1B visas? Protocoding. I'm Chris Athanas. Tech support said they're coming out for that. You already know about that. I'm gonna listen to. I haven't watched this yet, but I'm gonna continue the series because he kind of reactivated protocoding. He kind of reactivated his channel with his H-1B stuff, which is I thought it was crazy too when I first started hearing. But this regime, this Trump regime, is basically like fires off like things that are like really amazing, like shocking titles, and then later you find out it was just an announcement. There was nothing. There was no teeth behind it or anything like that. Try to light on here. There's no intention of following through on any of that stuff. That was just for the press. But people don't see that part. They never waited. That used to be like pay attention and be like interested and like make notes and like have follow ups on prioritize stuff because there's like so much coming at you. I got fire, especially with this administration with getting ready for war, whatever the heck they're going to be doing next with Iran. This thing is nuts. But yeah, so so it looks like they're pulling it back, and this is the continuing the conversation. I don't know what he's going to say here. I have a feeling he's going to say that because they have to hide, these ads, where they do the proof that they're letting people know they have to hide them in the paperwork, papers that people don't read and bury them all over the place, means that there's a pretty good chance that these companies actually do know they can hire people in the United States. And but they're skirting around the law, they're still going to the law, right? Or the letter of the law, but not the nature of the law. Because when the law was written, yes, we only had newspapers. This online thing's brand new. Of course, we don't need to update it because who's lobbying for the updates? Somebody's going to pay for that. Who's going to pay for the updates to get the law changed, be up to date so it actually makes sense in this current environment? You and me?
Oh, in today's video, we're going to try to uncover if H-1B visas are actually needed. You hear it over and over again that the whole American economy is in desperate need of engineers, and American engineers can fill this role. So we have
that's not true. That's not true. They can, but not at the prices that you want to pay. You want to make more money off it. You want to charge high prices and not charge. You keep the profits, right? But you then just lower the prices for your engineers. No, we have to have a society, man. Somebody's got to pay for all this stuff: the houses, and the cars, and the dentists, and the braces on the kids, and the vacation home. Someone's got to pay for that stuff to put all those people to work. Someone's got to put it together. And you said, this administration or this regime said, well, we're going to have the ideas and designs in the United States, and then we're going to have the manufacturing overseas. And that was how we're going to be like, we can still be a service economy, but this high tech, create stuff, engineering service. Well, and we can take the manufacturing and ship that over someplace else, right? Well, it turns out the manufacturing is kind of integral to having people who are tinkerers who can like know what stuff to build so we can have an inventive society that had a manufacturing core. But the MBAs thought, no, you don't need that. You can just get rid of those unions, reduce the wages by going overseas, but still sell the products as if they were still made here. Not going to change the prices. No, we'll just take tariffs and let the government. That's the government's grift. They get a little take it off the top with the tariffs. So all these things are because we don't have an economic driver, right? So that's really what is happening. We thought the AI thing was going to happen. The internet did it for a while. Before that, we had what was it before that? The space race, electronics. And before that, it was chemicals. And before that was just the industrialization process, cars, automobiles, and stuff like that, roads. And before that, it was just the electric powered factories, electricity powering stuff. Before that was steam. So we've had a whole cycle of these, but we haven't had one recently that'll drive the hyper growth that the United States economy is used to having this whole time, right? So the only way it can happen is, well, the only way, so what they figured out is, well, we can lower the costs of employment of the labor, just as if it was anything else in the capitalist system, right? We lower the cost of goods of production, we lower the cost of everything. So they figured they could lower the cost of wages, right? That was the whole thing. Unions were like, no, you got to keep those high if we're going to have a society and a culture. And people were like, yeah, okay, that's right. But they got rid of that. So now it's just like economic free zone, economic free for all zone. And yeah, let's keep going.
We have to go overseas and we have to bring in thousands of H-1B visa workers to come in and fill these specialized roles. Again, not just in computer science, but many other specialized
Right, and that was the other thing I want to say. So the businesses just don't want to pay. They want to keep their profits exorbitant forever, and they're used to having this exorbitant profits that now are becoming more reasonable. And when they become reasonable, you have to manage these companies better, and there's consolidation, whatever. There's a massive even more competition in this phase. And American business, they don't know much other than hyper growth. That's the other thing too. It's like if we're not hyper growth, it means they're dying. It's like, okay.
role within the American economy. So we're going to dive deep into that to figure out if that is actually needed. And we're also going to look at some videos going over some visa abuse, some methods, and then also understand why would someone come here and take on the risk of maybe getting abused, because we see it happen over and over again.
Oh, it's you're guaranteed. You do this. These people come through the H-1Bs. Yes, they're guaranteed to be abused here because guess what? They're being abused where they came from. Where they're already at is already way more abusive, like beyond. So coming here was like a paradise. Oh my God, paradise! Because they won't, whatever's going on in their country, they won't revolt, or being the United States is fucking with them and making it so they can't actually have a country. They're gonna have to be under the thumb of the United States one way or the other. So. Oh, let's keep going.
Come for H-1B visa and you're not working for a reputable company, abuse can't happen. So why would someone risk so much coming here?
Even reputable companies abuse them. That's the other thing too. So everybody's like, yeah, it's H-1B, yes, yeah, because it's better than the shithole they came from. But it's not. But it's not like the best. It's like an underclass, because these businesses know they can kick them out anytime they want. They're beholden. They have to pay a lot of the rules. They're gonna shut up and do what they're told. They're gonna anything they're told. The stories are so bad. They're bad. So we're encouraging that behavior as well. And that kind of leaks out into the other employees as well. Like American citizens are like, no, you can't treat us like that. You can't do that to us. And we were like, no, we did it to them. We're going to bring in some more like them and you get rid of you. It's like, what? They're like, yeah, it's legal. Somebody voted for it, so it's legal. It's like, all right, well, by the way, this is all about to end. All this crazy H-1Bs, all this stuff is going to end. Because it's unsustainable. It's a scam. And all of it's coming. And the reason why people are so grabby, just get into it, is because it's about to end. We can't sustain it. We have too much. People have figured it out. You overdid it. People figured it out, and now it's a time. Time is almost. It's on a ticking clock before this is done. Because there's so many people, smart people, that were kicked out of this thing, can organize, right? Once they figure out what the problem is, and then things will change. But right now, we're still spooling out for the economy being so crazy and being kicked out of these jobs and being like, what the hell? I thought that this kayfabe, like the economy's going great, but the people that got kicked out of these jobs and all these professions are like, what are you talking about? I've been talking 1,000 interviews, or not interviews, 1,000 applications. Nobody's even calling you back. So yeah, so all this stuff's going to come to an end. But so it's interesting to see it culminate and see the pressure now start to build, because this administration even have to announce about the H-1Bs. They made a fake announcement. They ain't making it worse, man. They thought, oh, we'll just make a fake announcement like we're canceling it. It's like, oh, really? You don't think we're going to look into it? Really? And it's like, some people won't, but there'll be a lot of people that will. And then it's like, hey, wait a second. It's like, when white guys start to go, hey, wait a second. And it's like, in mass? Oh, that's when things will flip. So it's almost, so now it's just inevitable. So we've reached a tipping point. Now everyone's super aware of the scams going on. And I'm sorry, the people that came over recently, you're probably going to have to go back. The ones that have been here for a long time, you're probably going to be okay. But even then, I don't know. There's a lot of problems in America right now. A lot of problems are economic. And when people get in charge of things, history, look at history. They have a tendency like, okay, well, we're not doing that anymore. You have to go home. This is just how things are. When things are good, we want to bring them in. It's like everyone's happy. Everyone's making money. But when things aren't bad, it's easy to scapegoat. So I just saying, look at history.
If this could happen. So before we get into anything, this is your daily reminder to hop on over to
I ain't doing
Jobs
shit.
Now, and we're going to
just look at history. That's all I'm saying. It's like you can look at it. It's like there's a pattern. And probably most people are so like into just surviving day to day or making their money so they can survive past that, get out of their shithole somehow. They thought they could use this little loophole path. And yes, this was valid, but now it's not valid. Now it's going to be now the people, the lights shine on this thing, and the rats are going to scurry. because they're good people start to go to prison, and when somebody's going to go to jail eventually, and you're like, oh, okay, well that phase is over now, and we got to reverse it. And people are super desperate right now. America's bad economy, especially for this class of people who is being affected by the H-1Bs, and they have a lot of time in their hands. They're organized. Let's keep going.
Do that right now to apply to some green card holder position. All right, so these are some perm process green card holder positions. So again, remember, for the H-1B visa, you do not need to prove that American can fill this job. Again, this is a misunderstanding that many.
So this Jobs.now is a website you can go to that is tracking all these postings all over the place, and allowing you to apply to them. So they have to actually actually have to like look at your application and make you priority, and they have to reply. But I'm also understanding, like, well, anyway, let's keep going.
People have. I used to have this. And for the green card process, you do need to prove this. And to prove it, all you need to do is have a job up for 30 days and prove that no American applied to it. But as we've seen from my last video, these jobs.
Okay, that's the thing with the Jobs.now. So if you apply to it, then it gets them out of this thing where they can't just assign the H-1B. They have to now deal with you. So there's another process. So every time you go to one of these jobs on this Jobs.now, you're totally derailing the whole H-1B process if you want to spend time doing it. But it's not that bad. I mean, at least you know which ones you should go to screw it up. And I mean, if you there's a few jobs I've applied to through this Jobs.now myself, who I qualify for. And they send me emails like usually you don't hear anything, but I was actually getting responses back. I wasn't quite 100% aligned with those particular ones, but so go to Jobs.now.
They're often obfuscated. They're hard to find. You weren't going to be able to see them in their company's websites, on major job boards. You'll find them in sources such as the San Francisco Chronicle Classified and the Chicago Tribune Classified and things like that. And there'll be multiple job postings in one job post. And the way to apply to them is often hard to know as well. So let's go through this one. This is one for Stripe here. Now, this is where
that's the other thing. This shows criminal activity. This shows criminal. It's plausibly deniable, but come on, add it all up. It's like, oh, come on. I know it's on paper. It looks, oh no, I played, but it was like, but you didn't really. You did it. You skirted it, and you're obviously not doing you're doing the letter of the law, not the intent and the what is it, the higher reasoning, the higher the like what we meant by it, not what the story actually says. Damn legalese fuckers, and that's why this is gonna end. That's because you can't. It's like you're done. You got whoever got into it, they got it. But whoever's into it, and they think they're going to rely on this. No, this is almost over.
It's juicy. The job requirements are a master's in computer science or related field and 3 years of software development experience. Now, who do we know that would have probably about 3 years of engineering experience and a master's degree? I talked all about this process in the last video, but one thing they probably need to change is I believe that now it's only the STEM visa extension is 1 year and the OPT extension is 1 year as well. So they might need to change this experience from 3 to 2 years moving forward here. So when we look at how to apply for this job, you need to send this job with this job code to addreply@stripe.com to be considered. Wow, what an unbelievably difficult way to apply compared to how everything now has easy apply and one-click apply and everything there. So yes, of course, I went ahead and applied and sent my resume to @stripe.com.
I recommend
and
everybody
I hope to be considered. And everyone out there, I would implore you to apply as well.
Because, it derails the process.
A lot of these jobs aren't jobs out there that can't be filled by American workers. They can't.
Supposedly it derails the process, but who knows? Is there any oversight? Is there any bureaucracy looking at these things? Anyone being prosecuted other than freaking Google a long time ago? Which did they change anything? No. So, come on, this is all coming to an end.
By American workers. That's why they can't be filled. And of course, these companies that are posting these roles, they don't want the process to slow down. They don't want anything to cause a hiccup in getting someone their green card. Would be a shame, wouldn't it be, if someone who's American could fill this job and actually found this job. So yes, again, these are crowdsourced jobs coming in here from all different types of media print where these jobs that are hard to find are posted. So when you see them, and you can usually tell by the description of the job, go ahead and click apply if you have an apply button, or even mail in your resume if that's what they're asking for. But for these jobs that just require this email being sent to some random email, these are easy enough to apply. Please, if you have the time, take the time to apply, because who knows, you might get the job, or if you don't get the job, guess what? You could prove cause that yes, an American could fill this role and you still had a green card there, and the company would get fined and you probably would get some of that fine. All right, moving on to the next.
So this next video, have you seen it? I haven't heard anything about anybody getting the fines paid to you. That'd be cool. What would use a class action lawsuit, really? Why hasn't there been a class action? I'm sure there's one brewing somewhere, but a serious one, Not one of these $25 million ones, a $25 billion one. Just showing a message like, no, this is over. This is done. You hire Americans. We got lots of Americans that can do all this stuff. We don't need to go to India so you can buy a little slave, okay? And treat him like a little slave. All right? We don't do that. That's done. That's over.
We're going to talk about, are H-1B visas even needed? And this Yale professor gives a very good explanation of why he believes they are so much.
If we eliminate H-1B, how many of those 100 H-1B jobs are going to be taken by American engineers?
Oh, so
Till we run out of engineers.
yeah. So one is we run out of engineers. So the problem isn't just that. It's that maybe 20 or 30 of those are taken. It's that
20 or 30.
But then we would lose 50 or 60 other American engineering jobs from companies that aren't created, that don't grow because they don't have access to this engineering talent. The total
Nah, man.
of engineering, of the total employment for American engineers in the United States will go down, not up because of this.
Okay. I see this statement all over that H-1B visas who are coming in, they are creating jobs for American. Now, I think this is absolute propaganda here. And he said that, 20% or 20 of those 100 jobs will be for H-1B visa work.
Look, man, if they're so great at creating jobs, can't they create jobs back where they were? If they're so magically amazing, beautiful, shouldn't they take their IQ and put it in their country to take care of their problems instead of coming over here and just extracting value and not participating in this American experiment, which isn't just about having a job at H-1B and having fucking 401k, extracting money and sending it back home. That's not what America's about. By the way, I just want to say, that's not what it's for. It's not an economic extraction zone. I know that's what it's been turned into, but it's not going to be like that forever. Okay? It's like that now, but not forever. Okay? The American experiment isn't just about economic dreams. It's about this other thing, about pursuing dreams, not just economic. Okay? As a culture, as a society, exploring time and space in peace and freedom, not this freaking whatever regime is bombing the shit out of everybody on paying up with our tax dollars. No, that's not what it is. That's off the rails. It will be corrected at some point because it always does.
Workers.
At least around these parts.
You look at Elon Musk, you look at other H-1B sponsors who've come to the country through the H-1B program and started these companies and hired hundreds of Americans. Yes, of course, there's some examples of this that have worked tremendously, but the vast majority aren't creating jobs, and we all know this.
Right, they're running scams, Vivek. The scams. Really? You promote that guy as a scammer? You can't find anybody else that's brown and can talk well and from India than a guy that's running scams with his mom? Really? I know there's other ones. I've met them. You can't pick one of those? Really? All right.
If they are creating jobs, who are they hiring? They already know about the whole H-1B visa sponsorship program. They don't need approved cause. They're just going to bring in their buddies from overseas to come work for them. They're not going to hire Americans. Why would they when they already know that this is a better way to do it?
Right.
So really,
it's very tribal. Parts of the other world are very tribal. Americans used to be tribal with Americans, but that's now fractured. So, but it probably will come back that's kind of where our root is, not extracting back to someplace else. It's creating a new thing here, and not just with your own tribe here. It's with everybody. As well as the idea. Obviously, maybe it's not possible. Maybe we just got to go tribal. That's just the way it goes. And all these laws that allow this to happen can be switched back pretty fast. Oh yeah.
When they say they're creating American jobs, who are they hiring for these American jobs? I think we all know the answer to that there, and I think that's
right.
Honestly,
because it's a tribal. We're going through a tribal phase. Looks like. I don't like it. I don't prefer this. I would rather go back to the America where I grew up in, which didn't have this level of craziness around it. That we had some sense. And that when the people are coming in skilled laborers, yes, there are hardcore doctors, hardcore scientists. Yes, we'll snipe your IQ. But now it's being abused for this other thing. It's totally changed now. Now it's just scam central. They've put a pipeline in and they're scamming people and paying off bribes and bullshit like that. And so that's why it will end. Because it's now it's a pipeline pyramid scheme. And then when is it that we get a regime in that doesn't or a regime gets swapped out or people or people start to organize around this issue, which looking likely. With the JobsNet Now website is just part of it. I mean, this is a lot of stuff in America is gonna be changing because it's just we're coming to the end where it's like, okay, you've maximized your scam. We see it, and we're gonna end that one. There's been a lot of scams that we've ended.
in the pockets of big tech, because I feel that that would be why you would come to that conclusion there, that we're creating more jobs for Americans. Are you? Because thousands of Americans are looking for jobs now. There's layoffs everywhere.
Yeah, so that's a lie. If it was true what they said, we wouldn't have these issues. Okay? Because since we have the issues, means that that's a lie. Whatever he's saying, would be the result. Did not the result. So now we have to readjust, which means that we're not doing that stuff. We're going to go back to what worked.
And guess what? These jobs that you're saying are being created, they're not hiring these people. All right, so real quick, I want to talk about Elon Musk, how he is such a big proponent of the H-1B visa.
No wonder
for people that actually
so
come here, that actually start
proponent
these great
of it.
companies that actually have this top
So
1%
tribal.
talent. Guess what? What if I told you there's a visa specifically for this? The
There we go.
EB1 visa
Yeah,
for
see?
extraordinary
There
talent.
we go.
This gives you green card, similar to green card access when you come here. You are not tied to an employer. You can move around. You can work freely. You can do all these great things that you can if you're an H-1B.
So what does a citizen get? What does a U.S. citizen get in this scheme? Just reamed? Taken advantage of? Taxed to death? Left out in the cold? Are the foreigners get more rights than we do? You think this is going to last? One way or another, it'll fall over. Whether we just stop participating and we go do something else, or we make changes that won't be maybe that popular, that may be a little harsh. This is an untenable situation.
And have restrictions. So yes, people that are coming here that are going to start these companies, I bet you most of them might be able to qualify for this Genius visa instead of trying to rely on the H-1B visa.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you really want to do any reform here, and I would be open to this, just eliminate these employer restrictions that H-1Bs have. They can't move around. They have to do so many things. They're essentially, as we'll find out later,
Just get rid of these programs.
Call it like
These
pseudo
programs,
belong-
we tried them. We got the maximum benefit out of it. Now they're a liability. Now we're getting the other side of it where, oh, okay, well, now people are taking advantage of this thing and they've scammed it. We've gotten all the good people we're going to get we got. They're already here. And all the ones we're getting now, let's not say it's not even B string. It's not even C string. It's like F, X, Y, Z string. They're not even stringing. They're just scamming. I mean, I would too. I get it. I understand why. If I lived in a shithole country like America's turning into, I'd want to leave too. If I could go to Canada and make 10 times my salary, I'm busted through the door, Canada. Get out of my way. Oh, yeah. I get it. I understand. America's full, though. We don't have the economic driver. It didn't show up. The AI didn't do the thing they said. It was just a demo. It was just a preview. That's long way away, 50 years away. And what do you do now? It's like all the good times strategies, we're gonna pull them back and stop because now the people are suffering, and if things don't change, there's just a couple ways this goes, man. People will smart people put in a desperate spot will start taking action, and it won't be pretty. So maybe we can do this peacefully, just by midnight, putting these things to bed, putting these policies to sleep, putting a pause. Say, okay, we're not doing any more of that. No more. For 5 years. Moratorium. Or whatever. But it's dangerous. When you have really smart people out of work for a long time that can actually, and they figure out they've been scammed, and there's no way to change it, and they're just going to continue on to be scammed. Come on. What do you think's going to happen? We're Americans.
Belong to the employer with how this is structured with them being in America. So let's just eliminate that. Let's just have H-1Bs be able to, if they come here and they are specialized, be able to work for whoever they want to work for. Let's have them do be as free as green card holders. But guess what? They would never do that because it stops the control that these companies so desperately want to have over these employees. If you don't have,
they want a second-class citizens. A newsflash, I want to say this out loud. America doesn't work without slavery, without an underclass of slaves or some other economic driver, whether it's slavery or some technical innovation, one or the other, or preferably both. America doesn't work as situated, as constituted. So that's why it has to change. Because we don't have an economic driver. We're at the tail end of it. We thought we'd have rockets by now. We thought we'd be on moon bases by now. We thought we'd have these hyper trains. with a lot more cities, a lot more industry. Nope, we get this consolidation, regulation, and globalization, and it's reducing labor costs down, so people can't buy shit. But there's also going to be a lower class of people that are coming here just excited to be here that will work for nothing. These second-class citizens, so it used to be there's the people who are just picking their cotton and picking the crops in the fields and working in the factories, losing their limbs, shipped them in from Ireland and from anywhere else, thinking we can grab them, take them prisoners and putting them in these factories or send them to war. Without that underclass of people, it doesn't really work. So they thought the AI was going to take them over and we have robot class of people, but that looks like it's going to be at least 20, 50 years away. So we're now stuck at this point of like, oh shit, what do we do now? They thought we could just import the third world and they would be just like this one. It's like, no, man. It's like the people doing this, like, have you met the people from the third world? No, man, they're not. First of all, they're not going to be Americans, so you're not going to get what you get from Americans. We're a special breed, man. And they think they just swap them out like an economic unit. It's like, no, man. You can get the top crop, or yeah, fuck yeah. But the next tiers down, who are here for more of a handout, they're desperate to be here. They won't exert their rights. They won't even look into it. You think you're gonna get the same stuff out of them than you got from out of Americans? People think this.
Have the control. You can't control these people. You can't do the things that big tech and other employers are doing to these H-1B visa workers. Okay, right. So that would never happen. But that is a good fix there, and I think that would fix up a whole lot of things and make things a lot more just and equal within this whole process. So now let's move on to some funny H-1B visa abuse here.
Just have an exception, of course, for the exceptions, but in general, this pipeline mill, strip mall, university certification thing, that's gotta shut down, man. And then they went from their country, India, and it's like China as well. Like this is what they do over there. And they come over here, it's like normal. They've already just import with a system that they already have. And just plug it into the dumb fucking Westerners who don't understand that their system just got hijacked. I mean, the white engineers like, oh, what's happening? Duh. Oh, gee, I guess I can't find work. My 1,001 applications, I can't find work. Eventually people figure it out. That's when things will change, but I don't know, it could be happening now. This H-1B thing, people woke up. The fact that the regime had to make an announcement about that they're changing the rules, but then they actually don't. And then people go look into the rules like me and him. I'm just a ding dong. But people are like, oh, what? So this whole system's on its way out.
Infosys won the H-1B visa lottery on behalf of their employee and assigned him to work on-site with their client Harley-Davidson in Tomahawk, Wisconsin.
All right, so they're sending H-1Bs to Tomahawk, Wisconsin. The Midwest has been put on notice.
Contractor from Infosys came to Tomahawk. I trained in my position, so they had me helping him find a place to stay and getting him acclimated a little bit.
It's so funny, Tomahawk, that's where my stepdad's from. Grew up there.
To what he was going to expect here. Nice.
When he was a kid, he worked at the Harley-Davidson plant. It's so interesting. I didn't know that. I just watched this first time with you.
Guy, real nice guy. The plants are about 3 miles apart. We were required to have a vehicle to get us back and forth, and he did not have any source of transportation. The supervisor took it upon himself to buy him a bicycle because he was walking between the plants, and he rode the bicycle, which is great in good weather, but this is Wisconsin, and he rode that bicycle in the snow. So crazy. People were questioning on who the guy was that was heading down to the Harley plant on the bicycle.
No, you guys have it all wrong. He has a Scandinavian mindset. In Finland, it's so common for people to ride bikes everywhere in the winter. He was just being very Scandinavian-like. This is how the Finnish operate. Jokes aside, this employer did him dirty. He couldn't even get him an e-bike. This dude had to ride a bike through the frigid Wisconsin weather from plant to plant. And guess what? That lady you saw in the video who was describing the situation, this was her replacement, and she was fired not long after this guy came to town.
See? The immigrants are just glad to be there. Oh my God, thank God I'm not in that fucking shithole. And the lady's like, you're doing what? He's like, no, I'm just glad to be here. I'll do whatever. I don't care. And the employer's like, this is the way I like it. This is going to work out good for me. Oh, really? Okay.
So they're willing to come here. H-1B sponsors are willing to come here. They're willing to
Harley
bike through the frigid cold
Davidson.
of Wisconsin to get this sponsor. And we're going to try to uncover why this could be more and more as we dive deeper.
Oh,
Let's move on to the next
you know,
video.
it's bad.
The
It's already
H-1B
bad.
visa scam.
Followed the attendee out of the room, Beach recalls. Beach also contends that based on the numbers of conferred degrees and other factors, the IT skills gap here is exaggerated.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. The IT skills gap here couldn't be more exaggerated. It's all propaganda to get you to want or get you to believe that we need to import talent from all over the world where we have no one here who's talented. Everyone here is useless. Everyone here is addicted to social media. Everyone here has no reason to try to work hard. That is what we're seeing. That is the propaganda. Do not believe it.
I was the chief editor of an electrical engineering publication. We were always decrying the shortage of engineers being produced by the U.S. educational system. Still, there were plenty of engineers here who were always looking for a job. It's the same thing in IT. Whenever we ran stories about hundreds of thousands of unfilled IT jobs, we get letters from experienced programmers, sysadmins, and all manner of IT personnel talking about how long they've been jobless. There's a disconnect here.
Yep. And there you have it. There's thousands of American engineers in many different fields who can't find employment.
For sure.
And all they say is, oh, we have jobs. We can't find people. There's not enough talent here. Well, there is. We just don't want to hire them because there's no control.
Correct.
All right, let's check out Bombshell Unleash. All right. So abuses to the H-1B program lead to human trafficking. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by the way, this is all human trafficking. This is regime-sponsored human trafficking. That's what it is. And again, the United States needs slaves to operate. Is slaves or some economic driver or both, preferably both, one or the other. If we have an economic driver, like after World War II and when all the factories are bombed out, we had this big push. People go out for the 50s and 60s. It was so wonderful. It was because of this thing, because the factories in Europe were totally destroyed, and the only people left were America. So we just by default won. People are like, oh, that was the most amazing time to go back. It's like you're gonna go back and bomb all the factories in China. Maybe. This is usually what happens. Usually when the things get so sticky and there's no more need for demand, yeah, this is when they start to wipe out the old stock. Start over, build over from scratch and have another boom. The war, all the stuff build up for the war, all the equipment, all the people, all the stuff, and all the drama, distract it from the domestic problems, put it on the enemy, and then afterwards build it back up again. Everyone's super grateful that we won the war.
Help create American jobs, but it's doing the opposite. Exactly the opposite. H-1B workers, while Americans are being laid off, are being bought and sold.
Yeah.
It's legalized human trafficking.
Yes.
That's a crazy way to think about it, but it's not too far off.
Not crazy. It's just how we've been hypnotized. We have been hypnotized to see this as not human trafficking. We have been hypnotized to look back in history and not see all the human trafficking that's been going on. Holy shit. This is the world we live in.
These workers will leave one mom and pop staffing company and sold to another for between $20,000 and $25,000 for their H-1B. Then they have to pay back the company that bought them.
All this is encouraged by this regime that wants to try and kick the can down the road into the unlimited profits forever game that we've been living in the United States. We've been living high on the super fuel, high octane, like slavery trades and slavery. Some of these factory workers stuff was just, come on. In the North, is those original factories, or even the later factories. That's why the unions had to come along. They're so abusive. You lose an arm whenever you're on the street. At least if you're down south, if you got injured on the job, you had your family there to take care of you. You were just kicked off and left for dead, like you were up or you left on the street to beg. If you had a family, they're going to starve. Nobody cared. Nobody talked about, oh, we paid them. Oh, we paid them up there. It's like, come on. So yeah, we go through phases. This is a particularly bad phase we're going through right now. There's lots of abuse happening all around. We're abusing the H-1Bs. We're abusing the Americans. Everyone's getting abused. The government's making off great, and all the buddies that are in on this system that have set this thing up and are grifting off it and off the criminality. They're doing great. They love it. So we got to decide, no, it's H-1B. It's technical. It's regulations. It's the government. It's like, no, it's just human trafficking. Let's be real honest about it. And these are different kind of slaves than we had in the past, but let's just be real honest. I mean, the Irish came out the boat. They handed him a rifle to go fight down the Southerners. They didn't know who they do. Who are these people? They're old cousins. Let's keep going.
Leave these other companies in hope that they're going to make more than the prevailing wage. That's the carrot that's dangled in front of them. In actuality, they're living 8 to 10 to a guest house, and they're having to look for their own jobs. They're having to pay their own visas.
Yep.
I have a list of companies right now, which are smaller companies, that if you're...
This is not unusual practice. This is common. Before I knew anything about this, one of the guys I worked with told me about this. He was in New Jersey with the H-1Bs. He was talking about all the people, how they were treated there. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, they bring them over here and they're basically like slaves. They work under desk 60 hours a week. They don't pay them for 40. And they make them do all kinds of extra shit. And if anybody mouths off, they send them off. And every once in a while, they just do it just to make an example out of them and for everybody else. I was like, what? This is like slave plantation shit. It's like, I know. I was like, this isn't real. And I was like, oh, it's, and I realized, oh no, it's more than real. This is standard. And people have gotten away with it because, oh, it's H-1B regulation. Oh, there's not enough engineers. Oh, engineers, oh, America's just lazy. They're really bottom of the pile. They can't figure out. They don't make the right qualifications. It was this shit. That's why it's coming to an end. This is all coming to an end.
You're in India and you want an H-1B, you have to pay this company $10,000 just to put your name into the lottery. If you are selected in the lottery, for them to sponsor your H-1B, you have to pay them another $15,000 to $20,000 for them to sponsor it. Then you get to the United States. Supposedly you're having to work, and they fake the resume and the educational credentials.
What happens to all the people that in the lottery that don't win? Where's all that money go? A lottery? That's just the gambling? You can just tell there's signatures of criminality on this whole thing all over it. All kinds of ways for people to get greased. All kinds of little secret extra behind the door. I'll get you. My cousin knows a guy. Mobster shit. This is why it's all gonna come to an end. People are like, no, this is normal H-1B. We have regulations. Congress, they voted on it. Yes, we representation. Get the fuck out of here.
Then you get over here, and then somebody like Dina has to train you to do your job. What is
Supposed to be
wrong with
specialized.
Yeah, I thought it was a special skill. But somebody's got to train you? I thought you had the special skill. You're amazing. Wow. Razzle dazzle. But you have to be trained by the people that you're replacing? That seems a little odd. If you don't get they're gonna refuse you your severance, your 2-month severance pay. These people, man. That's why this is all gonna stop. This is super abusive, by the way. This will actually cause social changes to happen. This is so abusive.
Yep, so it's pay to play. People are paying for this, and these companies really aren't providing any value by abusing the system and collecting payments from these people to come over from whatever country there is that they are applying from. And these companies are massive. They're getting a lot of money there, and their business is just undercutting
corruption,
other jobs.
Collusion.
So you have a contract out there that's at a reasonable competitive rate. Guess what? They'll absolutely undercut it and provide this type of labor that's okay with working at these prices. So over and over again, we've seen that there's issues, there's abuses, there's things that are going on. So why would you come here when you know that this could happen? Are things this bad in your country of origin?
Yes.
Well,
yes. Things are that bad in their country. Yes, that I will agree. It's horrific. It's horrific. So I get it.
I'm going to speculate. I don't really know exactly why.
It's bad. I know. It's bad. I live in Mexico. It's mild here. We're close to the United States. Mild here. But parts of it, ooh. It would be demolished. People, it would be considered a hazard, a public health hazard, and demolished. But it's just normal here, and this isn't even that bad. I drove down here. Oof. People in this world are very poor. I get it. Desperate. And instead of trying to fix it, we take advantage of it. Home of the free America. Home of the brave. Get the fuck out of here.
But let's take a look at this YouTuber, Small Brained American, who went to India and kind of observe what goes on in India and see if we could kind of deduce anything from watching his experience in India.
Okay,
all right, so the video's called India Sucks, Don't Ever Come Here.
And we're in Varanasi.
I watched this before.
Not sure what to expect. I don't have a place to stay. Hello, my friend. No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Just wait.
Okay.
Look at the haze.
This is the place.
Smoke.
Yeah, okay, I'm good.
Your place.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, here.
I
Yep,
get
thank
it.
you. All right. Okay, just leave me alone. All right, running away now. Why am I running away from tuk-tuk drivers right now? They really just bother me, these tuk-tuk drivers. They're just like crowding around.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say much, but you kind of see the
Chaos.
state of the city here. Let's kind of skip forward a bit.
Yeah,
and see what we can
chaos.
see.
Absolute chaos.
Disgusting. It's
Yeah.
the most polluted country I've ever been in, hands down. Not even.
Hold on.
Disgusting. I think I'm leaning towards hating it right now. This is disgusting.
It's bad.
It's the most polluted country I've ever been in, hands down. Not even close. This makes me want to hug a tree and become an environmentalist and hire Greta
America's
Thunberg
not
or whatever the
the America's not the one with the environmental issues. Let's be real clear about that. India needs to clear their stuff up, man. They need a revolution or something, man. But like they used to have a high culture, so they are capable of having a high culture. But the corruption and the scamming and whatever the hell's going on, they're just importing it over here. So this is they go from this to America. Oh yeah, and then everybody's just like super high trust. Oh yes, of course. Oh look at these. Of course your credentials check out. People are figuring this shit out, man. People are figuring this stuff out.
her name is. Oh, no, I'm exercising. I don't need.
Very interesting here. This is kind of living conditions going on. Not much to
it's
say,
horrible.
but I will end this video looking at one of my favorite things I've ever seen on
Those
the
videos
internet,
are
and that is
disgusting compared to from the Western mindset. I'm in Mexico. It's pretty bad, but like, I mean, parts of it are really nice. Parts of it is like, what the fuck? Like this. It's parts of it's like this, and that's just around here. You know, I'm just right across the border from the United States. I mean, other parts of the world is. I get why they want to come here. It's a desperate situation, but they got to figure their own stuff out, man. God, doing IQ shredders and bringing all the smartest people there is causing this to get worse. That's actually really cruel.
another video from Small Brain America where he rides India's trains.
This here. Oh, shit.
Oh yes.
Oh my
Let the
God.
overcrowding.
Welcome back to India, country number 21 of 27 on a trip across the world. And we're trying to go into a little village and go to a meditation retreat, but it requires me to get on this train. This train here. It's standing room only, and I don't know if I'll physically be able to fit. Jesus. Is that far?
This is
Like 4 hours. Yeah. Jesus. Hey, at least we're in there. At least we're in. What? Sit down?
No
Sit down. I can't sit
way.
down.
This is like
So this is unacceptable on so many levels, but they gotta figure their stuff out, man. There's so many things going wrong here. Okay.
everyone on this train. This is normally how we live. This is normally how you take a train. It's crowded. No one can even move. There's no door.
And I get it. Everyone's got their own culture. Even here, there's stuff here in Mexico. I'm like, ooh, jeez. I don't know about that. But this is how they do it, man. And when they come to another country, if they're not forced to assimilate, they're just going to be, look, he's happy. He thinks it's great. He thinks, oh, yes, this is quite normal. It's like, dude. So civilization, they lost their civilization. They got taken over by Britain or whatever. Because I've studied their civilization. They did have high culture. I don't know what the fuck happened, but they need to get back to it somehow.
This door still has to close.
Yeah,
This might be one of the most intense.
So really what I'm trying to get at here is you look at overpopulation in India, and obviously with how many people are in India, maybe that could be why, because overpopulation.
I don't know if it's overpopulation. It's just like having a cultural vision that's more than what they have. I guess, you know, the value and the sanctity of life, that's a part of the Christian thing. Everyone respects the dignity of your divinity as a being. That's part of the Christian, part of the core of it. Like everyone has dignity as a being, whether you're retarded, dumb, whatever. So but that's part of the culture. Is like you have a soul, so you have value, you have dignity, and you have value just because you have a soul. But other cultures, they don't have that, man. And they don't see that, and they don't understand. They take advantage of it because it's very easy to take advantage of. If somebody believes that and other people don't, they don't have that same view of life. Oh, it's like they'll just see you as a piece of trash to be thrown away if they don't like you, whatever. Dismiss. They don't see that as a human thing. So yeah, so there's like that kind of stuff, and that's cultural. That's not innate in everybody. Everybody sees that, which is kind of crazy. It's like hard to believe. It's like you don't see me as the spark the divinity behind my eyes as a living being and a sentient creature that can speak and communicate and has similar wants and goals and aspirations as you? You can't see that as we're in this together and it's a temporary thing, this little tiny little world spinning dust ball in the middle of this dark vastness of space? The miracle that we're here at all? No? Some people don't believe in any of that shit, man. And it's hard to communicate to people that don't see that because they're going to make a lot of choices that are inhuman. I don't know what else to say about that.
And obviously, it can lead to pollution. It can lead to a bunch of other things happening. And maybe that's why the drive is so much for people to come to other countries to work. And again, not just America. You know, there's visas to go to other countries to work. Maybe that's why these people from India and any other country would come here. Is it overpopulation? Is it corruption?
It's just all of that stuff, the compounding of it. Yeah. And the way the Westers, even though we've been degraded so much in the West, there's still that kind of idea behind it. The people in charge used to think about this stuff. I don't know about it anymore, but they used to, growing up, they definitely did. In America, I remember people would talk about this stuff. How does it affect other people? And you would know your neighbors. We weren't all this atomized running around the world, everything globalized. If you couldn't get something, if it was out of stock, that was it, you're done. And people like took care of each other and looked after each other. It was, I remember it. And it faded out. And now it's this weird transactional thing that we've run the limit of this experiment.
I'm not 100% sure. Please let me know if you have anything else in the any reasons why they would go through all these abuses to come here. Is it that bad in their country of origin where
Yes,
even if they're abused,
it's horrific. Yes, it's horrific.
even if all these things happen, even if they don't get work, even if there's uncertainty every day of their life that their visa sponsorship could be ended, it is still worth it to come here. And
Yes.
again, I thought it was because they would get American wages, but a lot of the time, as we've seen, that doesn't happen. Abuses happen, fraudulent activities happen. So please let me know what you think in the comments here, guys. All right, that's it, everyone. Take care.
All right.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, wait. I don't want to see that. Let's go right here. All right, you kind of get it, I guess. Give me a like and subscribe. Go give him a like and subscribe, and I'll rant at you later, partner.